Ugh, man, my live stream game is so weak. And I'm hoping that it's not going to be super duper choppy on StreamYard. So I'm going to wait for some people to come in. We'll do an audio check and then we'll proceed with the conversation. So I will wait. Okay. And sorry about that last broadcast. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what the heck is up with my audio. But audio's good. Thank you, Tony. Love you to pieces. Thank you so much. All right. So we got a couple of topics that I want to talk about, just some things that I kind of heard while browsing and throughout the day, and even something that hit me last night. So if you didn't see my recent video, I was kind of commenting on the Brandon Tatum video about Kim Klacik versus Candace Owens and how unnecessary that I thought that was. And then he even had the nerve to go so-called conservatives and, basically telling people not to listen to us and discourage people from listening to different conservative perspectives that weren't his or Candace Owens. And, I have a problem with that for several reasons. And I stated a few of them, but I want to bring it more specifically home and then I will stop talking about it. The Black conservative perspective is just as diverse as the Black community. You're going to have Black conservatives perspectives from all different backgrounds within the Black communities. People who have come from structured households to people who have come from unstructured households, people who have come from wealth transfer to people who have come from poverty. The conservative perspective, the Black conservative movement, it's one of those things that people embrace over time throughout their life. Some people hit that aha moment, sooner than others. I was 37 last year when I decided that the conservative perspective. Did I lose? What? I am so over this. Are you serious? What happened? This is going to be my life until I find me a better. Somebody please recommend me some just equipment to do this right. I'm so over it. But what I wanted to say is that there's different Black conservative perspectives because obviously there are different Black experiences in America, right? And so I would never tell somebody, and I've heard, portions of Candace Owens' rhetoric I have discouraged people from listening to because it panders to populations to me that are not inspired to me to see the Black community improve. They are inspired to see a Black person dissing their community. And so, again, with Candace Owens, I think that any Black conservative that is on the mic can make really good logical points and arguments to and about the Black community. So, and that's why I'm adamant in saying that there can be no voice for the Black community just because there's just too many diverse experiences. There's just too many diverse experiences for there to be a voice. And I think what the Republicans are constantly trying to do is shove Candace Owens down Black people's face. Anything time there's something to talk about Black people related, they're going to run to her. And they don't realize that she doesn't resonate to a bulk of the community. And it's not so much about what she says, it's how she says it. And you can say things however you want to, but if you're trying to have an impact, obviously you have to make adjustments. Just like I said that I'm going to stop trying to to stop cursing so much in my videos. So that, some of my more my more sensitive conservative viewers can view with a little bit more ease. You have to make adjustments. And so when I hear people like Brandon Tatum throwing shots at different conservatives and calling us so-called or fake or phony and whatnot like that, I kind of go back to, Mr. Preacher Man, Mr. I'm a Christian and all that good jazz. And I'm like, why are you constantly doing videos with Donald Trump shirts on? I supported Trump last year too, but I'm not touting Trump all over the damn place. And I'm definitely not wearing him as if he's a hero or some type of idol of mine. Because a real Christian knows that you should not idolize people. You should not idolize people at all. I don't care if they're the president or not. You're not supposed to idolize human beings. And wearing images of individuals so that you can pander to the individuals that support that person is still a form of idol worship. So, as people want to talk about how fake and phony people are, real Christians know this. And real Christians don't have to pander to a certain demographic to prove how Christian we are. We just spit those Bible verses when it's necessary and we move on. So that is my point on Black conservatives. I would encourage everyone to listen to all of the diverse Black conservative perspectives out there. I think that you're going to hear a different style and twist to the Black experience. And I think that that's valuable. So that is my encouragement. My next point is about T.I. and Tiny. I was on YouTube and I ran across this video of this older Black woman talking about how T.I. was body shaming Tiny and how he was being disrespectful to her on camera in public. And so obviously, I'm trying to, I'm curious about what T.I. did because they've been together for so long. I hope T.I. and Tiny ride forever. You always want to see couples doing well. You know what I mean? I've had men who were married try to talk to me, and I'm like, dude, whatever you have issues with your wife, I hope y'all reconcile them. I really do, because it's a dog-eat-dog world out here, and honestly, sometimes being married is a lot better than being, single. So I always tell people to work out your problems. Work out your problems. And please understand, if you are married, I am not the person to come to ever, to try to, I'm not a side chick. I am not a side chick at all. I don't do that. I don't disrespect. So anyways, so I go to the video and I'm listening to this lady talk about T.I. and how disrespectful and shameful he was towards his wife. So I look at the video and T.I. is making the point that Tiny is wearing very revealing clothing. And he felt like she was the only one that was in that general area that was wearing these revealing clothing. And so he started sort of just going in on her, like, everybody can see my wife, and basically like all these other, and this woman took this offensively, that T.I. had a problem with Tiny revealing herself to other men. And it's so interesting because I heard another man talk about the clothing that women wear. And when a woman is involved, what type of clothing should she be wearing out in public to show not just respect for herself, but the fact that she's married? And one guy was talking about the yoga pants. He was like, nobody's working out that much. He was like, but yoga pants are very revealing. And yoga pants for women, they're slimming and they're comfortable, but they're also very revealing. And so he was talking about how when he sees women with yoga pants, he don't care if they're married or not, it just does something for him. So getting back to the T.I. and Tiny thing, this woman had a big problem with him saying that about his wife, and she looked at what T.I. was saying as being shameful. And this is where I can kind of understand a lot of men talking about how women are sensitive. And obviously, Tiny didn't appear to be very sensitive in that video. She was kind of laughing, going along, giggling or whatever. But at the same time, I wonder how much of her husband's criticism was she taking in. And I call that constructive criticism because he was making a point that she was revealing a lot of her body in public. And even though she was with him, he didn't feel that she should have revealed that much of her body. So, fellas, let me know. How do you feel about your ladies when you guys go out
or if she's even going out by her friends, how do you feel about her dress? Is her revealing dress code, like, is that, or what she chooses to wear, do you correct that? Do you tell your woman that, you can't wear that or you shouldn't wear that? And do you think that, and women, do you think that it's offensive that your man says you can wear this, you can't wear that? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. As long as I'm single, and I say, I don't care if I'm involved with somebody, if you're not my husband, I'm single, I feel like I'll wear whatever makes me comfortable, right? But I have learned that in relationships over time, women have to be able to concede with the man that they want to spend the rest of their lives with. So a lot of times women will wear things that make them sexy and they're feeling good or whatever, and a man will get offended by that. And women, we kind of get in our feelings like, I'm with you. What are you worried about? This is for you. But I think a lot of men want this is for you to be right in that home. They don't want you going out and giving any other dude sneak peeks as to what you got going on. And I think that's how T.I. felt when he was constructively criticizing his woman about what she was wearing. I didn't find what he was saying to her rude at all. And it was funny that this woman committed an entire video on how rude and harsh and shaming T.I. was to Tiny. And I'm looking at this video and I'm like, I'm looking for the moment where the man is shameful to his wife. And I'm like, everything that he is saying is reasonable for a man to be able to say to his wife. You have shown you are coming out of here with way too much of yourself showing. And so now you are not only the object of my affections, you're also the object of other men's affections as well. And I think that he had every right to do that. And Black women, we tend to combat our men on a lot of things. And as I think about a lot of the conversations that are going on right now, and I think about a lot of the feedback that I've been hearing from men, listening to Black women talk, I have come to understand that, the native Black woman in America has become a turnoff to a lot of qualified Black men, obviously because of the different societal changes and how a lot of the rearing of Black women and that were born native Blacks here, that impacts a lot of the behaviors, a lot of the actualization of native Black women. And I actually got a lot of people that were offended by my last video about why Black women were so hard. And when I broke it down, to the native Black, your African migrant Black, and then your Caribbean Black, a lot of people disagree with that. But it's so funny. I'm on LinkedIn. I post a video about the men and the single mother types, and this brother, he chimed in, and I want to read this because I'm not gassing y'all up at all. But it's so funny. He commented and he made this comment, and it sort of is driving the point home right here that I'm about to make. Let me see. I'm gonna go to this. I should have had it pulled up. I didn't really plan to pull this comment up, but where are you at? Where are you at, my friend? Here you go. He said, he liked the video about the Black men and maybe some traumas that single mother caused, but he made the mention. He goes, Angie Carr, there is a huge pushback growing among men about the cancel culture. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not the one. Nope. He mentioned that. He mentioned that a lot of Caribbean Blacks, he said a lot of African American men are looking for African migrant women and Caribbean women. So he's saying that a lot of qualified Black men, Black American men, are now deeming Native Black American women as sort of not qualified or they're not equitable partners. So these brothers are seeking women that were not born in America, who migrated to America from either Africa or the Caribbean. And I've always thought this because, here's the thing. I've always known that African migrant males were not crazy about dating Black women. I think they've always thought that we were beautiful, but Black women, Native Black women in America, we are not as subservient as their women are. And I think that's why a lot of Native Black men in America, or a lot of African migrant men, are not crazy about dating Black women unless they find a super subservient Native Black woman. Whereas African American males are targeting migrant Black women and Caribbean Black women that migrate here because they're viewing these women as better quality. Now, a lot of Native Black American women will probably be offended by the very notion of that, like we're just as good as they are. And, as much, and I'm a Native Black woman, but I will tell you that we are different. We are harder than those women. And that's partly because of, again, how we grow up. If you are a Black woman that has grown up in a single mother household, your mother has played both the father and the mother. When a woman plays the father and the mother role for the most part, that is very stressful. I mean, you think about what most single women who are actually taking care of their business and their kids and prioritizing what they go through. They have no work to life balance. They basically have two jobs, right? They work, they pay their bills, they take care of their kids. A lot of us are seeking the best opportunities we can. So a lot of us definitely live in areas where our kids will get opportunities. So single moms that are taking care of business, I should say, they're going through a lot. And when you're taking on both the male and the female role, that kind of hardens you up. You know what I mean? Your tolerance level for anything is very, very low. Let alone a man that want to play with your emotions or have you just be a part of his roster of females. It's like, don't nobody got time for that. So a lot of single moms, Native Black single moms, are very hard. They are also very used to being defensive by their men. This is a lot of, honestly, I didn't realize how disrespectful in communications a lot of Black men are. And I like the sentiments of our well off, as Kevin Samuels would say, those 51% of Black men that are single with no kids, as turned off as they are of maybe Native Black American women. I find that, some of their ideals of a relationship is a turnoff to me, which makes me open to white men and or other men outside of my race. So I think there's a big turnoff game for everybody in the Black community, if we want to be real about it, because we're all kind of looking for the most actualized Black Americans. If you're trying to date within your race, we're all looking for the most actualized people that we can find. Usually the actualized people are either successful or super duper smart. You know what I mean? But if you can't find that and you just have all this dissonance, like I said, people go outside of their space, whether it's going outside of their nationality, but still keeping it Black, or going completely outside of their race. I am an advocate for people being happy. I believe that people should be happy. They should marry who makes them happy. And so I don't believe in what some structure of the family should look like. You know what I mean? I think family is family. If you ever come to any of my family reunions, it looks like the United Nations because we have some of everybody. You know what I mean? We have a lot of blended people. So we have no problems. We have no drama. So like I said, what some people won't do, other people will. Single mothers, keep your head up, because what some people won't do, some men will. And even if you have to play in the snow, And if you one of those single mothers that are taking advantage of state opportunities, like I said, the white man is helping you raise your kid anyway, so you might as well go and try to date him too. Anyways, hopefully this little conversation was interesting to you guys. Like I said, Black conservatives, listen to the diverse perspectives, okay? There is no one voice for the Black community, and I don't care if that's from the liberal or the conservative side. Everybody is a voice for the Black community. Even that beautiful little girl who was in that video with her father talking about critical race theory. T.I. and Tiny, Black women, we got to understand constructive criticism. All right. We need to understand, sometimes the sensible place that some of the criticism that our men is giving us is coming from. In the case of T.I. and Tiny, this woman thought that T.I. was shaming his wife on film. She thought that T.I. was disrespecting her, basically. And when I looked at that video, T.I. was saying what any other husband would say to his wife who revealed too much of her body to the public. Shame on you. You're the only one out here with your cleavage out. And I think what he was asking and demanding from his wife is a little bit more modesty. When you're not a single woman anymore, you have to respect the standards of modesty that your husband is comfortable with just as much as your own comfort level. And then again, if it makes you feel sexy, that's one thing, you know what I mean? But what does that sex appeal translate to people that are not your husband? And you have to be respectful of that. And I think a lot of women, we combat our men on what we wear because we love how we look in it sometimes. I remember one time my kid's dad and I were going to this party, and I had this like bustier thing. It looked like a bra, but it wasn't in my mind. It was a specific kind of clothing that was not a bra. And I had a blazer on, I had jeans, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm looking really simple, not too sexy. And he was like, so you're just gonna go out with that bra on? I'm like, it's not a bra. It's there. He was like, I can see it looks like a bra. And I combated him. Younger me combated him. What are you talking about? And, it was like either ruin the evening and not go to the party or change. So I went and I changed. But I didn't like the feeling of the fact that he made me change. And coming back from that now, I realized that being a respectful person to your man is considering his feelings. And if you are wearing something that's too revealing, he's probably trying to respect your dignity and your relationship at the same time because he doesn't want other men soliciting you or thinking of you in any way other than that's that dude's woman. My wife's dress clothing too tight, hard to mention to her to dress more conservative without insult. It's not a slippery slope, Tony, because at the end of the day, I think that men should demand modesty from their wife. You know what I mean? If she is your wife, she's not a girlfriend, she's not an option, she's your wife. And I think that, women have to get to a point where she has to step back and she needs to ask herself, who are you doing this for? Because if you're doing it for me, you know what I mean, then you can wear that dress at home and we don't have to be out. Because, if she's doing it because she thinks that she wants you to feel like you have an arm piece. Because again, it's like, who is she wearing these tight dresses for? Is she doing it for you? Is she doing it for her? Is she doing it to sort of make herself feel confident to possibly solicit? A lot of women need to step back and understand, kind of where their man is coming from when they're wearing certain types of things. So hopefully you guys can be able to get past that slippery slope, my friend, because, you're her man. And if you guys are going out and she's looking too revealing, just like T.I., I think that you should be able to call her out on that. She should be able to listen to you with respect And if she respects you, she'll go and she'll change into something more modest that makes you feel comfortable to take her out. You know, and again, it's like, women, we get stuck in our own feelings and what we want, and we don't realize that, how we feel, what we want may make our man feel uncomfortable for a variety of different women. Because my thing is, your wife going out wearing these short dresses, even if she's with you, some other dudes are just mad disrespectful. They're either disrespectful with their eyes looking at her too much, where it causes you to feel uncomfortable, or they'll outright, excuse me, just disrespect you blatantly. So, and then when you look at the root cause of a lot of that, sometimes it's what the woman is wearing. And it's good she handles herself. So she got the mommy makeover surgery. Now she's dressing in. Okay, so she has that post mommy, I'm feeling myself. I ain't mad at her, honestly. I don't have any surgery. I consider myself having mom bod. I'm not a big, like, I should probably be more into like being like super fit, but probably not. I need to do better. But, she's feeling herself. But my thing is, as her man, you have to step back and tell her that she can't be feeling herself a little too much. If you were describing your wife's clothing as saran wrap, I don't know, but I mean, because my thing is, that saran wrap opens a lot of other dudes' minds to a lot of other, a lot of fantasies, and that's what women don't associate with that. We are opening not just our own man's minds up to the fantasies of our body when we wear things that are super revealing that other men can appreciate, that maybe only he should be appreciating. So, I mean, kudos to her for getting her body right post kids, my friend. Yeah, her kids' sporting events is a little embarrassing. See, you need to put that in check. I'm sorry. Anytime you talking about you feeling embarrassing, you embarrassed, and she's inappropriate at your kids' sporting events, that needs to be put in check. She must be a beautiful hell of a woman, for you to be putting up with that. Because I mean, you have to, like, I believe that men should put their foot down. Men should put their foot down. Okay? Like, you should not be giving your wife that much control in your relationship where she thinks that it is okay to flex her newfound bod. And because, again, it's time, place, and manner. I mean, because your wife doesn't seem like she have a chill, my dude. She does not seem like she has a chill. If she's wearing inappropriate, sexy things to the kids' school event, your wife has no chill. And I venture to say that you might want to keep an eye out on her too. I think you might want to keep an eye on her, because my thing is, I don't feel like it's just for you at that point, my friend. I don't feel like it's just for you if she thinks that saran wrap dresses and wearing it to the kids sporting events. I mean, I would question: are you doing this for me? I would ask her, who are you really doing this for? Why are you doing this? What type of attention are you expecting that you will get? And then what type of attention do you think you're getting? And then let her answer that question. And then ask her, as being somebody's wife, do you think that that is appropriate? I would ask some very serious questions to sort of, and then the best way to do it is a reverse psychology. If another mom is dressed like your wife, I would look at her. I will look at the woman. I will stare down. And it's not about being disrespectful. It's about proving a point to your wife that I'm looking at this woman right now that's dressed just like you. And I see all of her body and all of the things that you choose to show as well. And I'm looking at her. And if your wife is in her feelings and having any kind of reaction because you're doing that, then you put her back on her. Because it's like, look, the same way you're feeling about me looking at this woman who's wearing overly revealing things is the same way I feel when you're wearing these things and other dudes are looking at you. It's a respect thing. She won't, it's not about, here's the thing, it's about respect. She don't have to like it. And I agree with Kevin Samuels. Some women need to know the truth. She does not have to like it. She has to respect it and implement and move on. You know what I mean? So I would put her on her in that instance and make sure, look at the finest broad, I'm not going to say, look at the finest woman you can see. Look at the finest woman. Just look at her. She just find the flyest dressed, finest one that dressed like your woman. And just be looking at her, checking her out until your woman say something to you. And then flip that shit on her. Oop. I'm trying not to curse. Then flip it on her, my friend. Flip it on her. And you're not even doing that with a cheating eye. You're doing that with a I'm about to prove a point to you eye. Sometimes you got to prove a point to women. So it's not about her liking it. It's about the point that has to be made by you doing it. And I think that you're a very respectful man that obviously concedes to your wife probably a little bit more than you need to. Because it's about respect at the end of the day. I know that, like, you know, some women, people will only do what other people allow in a relationship. And I tell people this all the time. My female friends, your man's cheating on you constantly because you allow it. Your woman's out there, you know, dressing up or, you know, whatever because you allow it. There are certain things that as a husband you cannot allow. And as women, we have to start being realistic why that is. And, you know, and some men, you know, their pride won't allow them to explain it. You know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as I don't want other men looking at you in any other way other than you being my wife. Some men are too prideful to talk about the why they feel like even the way you dressing is going to somehow destroy their territory or interrupt the territory. So I would say definitely alpha up on that one, Tony. Alpha up on that one. You need to alpha up on that, and, you know, respectfully. I mean, I think that you can reason with people, and, you know, my thing is, as long as she continues to want to wear those things and she cares about you in a relationship or whatever, I think the more you should find the flyest girl in the room and look at her ass until it pisses your wife off. I mean, either she gonna get respectful or she's gonna reveal herself. She's gonna reveal herself, her true self. You know, once you start putting people to the test, that's when you realize who you're really working with. So that, and then back to the Native Black thing, just to wrap that up, a lot of our brothers, Native Black brothers, well-off brothers, some of those high-off value brothers are looking for African Caribbean sisters, is the word on the street from one of my fellow Black conservative brothers. And I guess they want these women because they're more regimented, they're more subservient, and they have more of a structured idea of family. So let me know what you think about this. If you're African or Caribbean, migrant, Black here in America, let me know if this is true. Let me know if our perceptions, you know, if my assessment about your perceptions of Native Blacks is correct. And if you are a Native Black African American male, would love to know if your target is now African migrant, Caribbean migrant Blacks, and you're not even checking for us Native Black sisters no more. We're irrelevant. Nobody wants Native Black sisters. Like, we're just like a violin song. Well, I wouldn't say nobody. I'm talking about in the Black boys. The white boys want some of us Black sisters, and we need to start playing with them. Okay, like, I mean, don't be afraid to play in the snow for your happiness. You know, especially because most of our Black men have an issue with us anyways. It's like, shoot, play in the snow, play in the snow. You don't gotta be a white boy. You can go anywhere. Just find your happiness. Don't confine your happiness. especially to a group of men who obviously may not be checking for us, sisters. They may not be checking for us. So we got to check our other options and be happy. Have a good evening, Tony. Alpha up. Alpha up, my friend. You're going to have to alpha up on that. You're a great guy. I think you're a nice guy. Very supportive man. She got a good dude. Needs to alpha up on that, my friend. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Night.